G'day guys, Mac with the Outer Circle, and I want to do a slightly different video, much more boring, just a personal whinge today. I want to very briefly express some of what I'm feeling in the week since I made the mistake of calling the Beakies reveal mediocre. Now, I've done many things I'm not proud of, and taken some unfair shots since I formed this channel. I have a deserved reputation for salt, but this last week some of the comments I'd normally ignore have boiled over. I find it interesting how I'm the most toxic thing in the community, according to some, namely for gatekeeping people's hobby despite me never telling people what they couldn't do, but for merely suggesting what they shouldn't do. There's a big difference between the two. But what I did receive from these enlightened individuals in this last week, why, in the true spirit of togetherness, I received about half an hour straight of condescending criticism from Remembrance's Retreat podcast. That was pretty swell. They didn't even ask me to sit down and discuss why I didn't agree with the Mark 6 box being best, so they just made up their own story and argued that. That was pretty good. I also got told every single thing I've created the last 2 years was whinging salt. I'd let that slide in a normal week if I didn't have several hundred messages to that effect. I also got told to leave the hobby multiple times, and how the community didn't want me, how hated I am on every single forum and platform, despite only ever fighting for the hobbyists to be treated better by the company and to take pride in your work. Most of all though, I really loved the threats this week. They were pretty swell. I even shared a few screen caps, and people even shared some with me. It's always lovely to wake up to a death threat because you said that Mark 6 isn't exactly the best armor choice for the game I've been living and breathing for a decade. Yes, nothing quite inspires my faith in the community like copying a good old bullet to the head. Now, don't take this as some sort of victim thing. I'm not a victim. I put my thoughts on the internet and you reap what you sow. This is the repercussions of putting my opinion out there. But I find it incredibly rich that I'm the toxic one when the best my opponents can do is to mischaracterize my arguments in a vacuum and tell me to quit the hobby and die. Seems a little bit worse than the things I've said, but hey, what would I know? I'm just the salty fucker who tried to get Games Workshop to not set disproportionate regional pricing. I'm the one who put out heresy content for 5 years when nobody else would pay it more than a passing thought outside of a few podcasts. I guess I'm the one who critiques every single thing, or so it seems, because maybe after 30 years in the hobby, I feel like being thankful for what you get is a failing strategy. But hey, what the fuck would I know? I'm the toxic one here. So, I just need to get that off my chest, and just in case some snide little prick out there wants to make a comment about how it's just some charade, how I'm in it to get clicks, I'm not even monetizing this video. I just wanted you to experience my week, to get a feel for how welcoming the community is. Yes, you'd hate to be the salty guy in the community, because that's the real problem here. Because the rest of the community is just so swell, so forgiving, and so charitable. And they definitely don't have their own little bandwagon that's, well, basically everything they're accusing me of, they're 10 times worse. It's very fucking disrespectful. Anyway, that's all from me. Hopefully, I'll see you on the next one.